They gonna probably have to put this shit in museums and shit. Put this shit in books, put this shit in Harvard. Study this shit. They let her ask me like, why you ain't make it? And in my city, dog, I feel I'm the greatest. And every nigga from my hood will probably tell you that. Holy they favorite, I'm still a wrong nigga that you should play with. So we stuck in the matrix, if you ain't got it, they'll tell you to take it. If you ain't got it, they'll tell you to fake it. But them the rules that we changing down to my last. And it wasn't no complaining, them circumstances that we wouldn't remain in. We finna leave how we came in, and that's real as fuck. Said the team winning now, they wanna chill with us. But this ain't happen overnight, we had to build it up. It's just me and day ones, they gotta deal with us. Get to know the guys. It's that turn the oven on when it's cold inside. And everything I say stamp, notarized. And you already know the vibes. If it ain't forward thinking, we can't socialize. Facts. And all the violence in my hood, I'm getting calls from Debbie Rose like, would you stop it if you could? Cause she knowing that I would, but I can't. Cause they screaming fuck the ops like it's a chain. And them youngins used to play up in my camp. He said, holy, I'm a man and I'm out here. Nigga gotta get it how I can. Cause ain't nobody giving us no helping hands. And plus we seen you on the gram, holy. Blowing racks, throwing all them bands. So when you see the flashing lights, know it ain't coming from a fan, but I'm the blue and white. Nigga, trust me, they ain't moving right. That's why it's take a life or lose your life. And I ain't trying to lose my life. So this mentality been proven right. And I ain't saying I won't take your advice, but when you leave, we gon' stay here, holy. Plus the ops, they don't play fair, holy. And I done see my man lay here, done watch them boys spray here, holy. This shit happen every day here, holy.
And we're back here once again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another installment of Sway Reporting Live One-on-One Sit-Downs. I have a very esteemed guest in the streetball world, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even going to say his name, but I will say this. Like I say all in my episodes, every one of my guests are special. And this is a very special gentleman right here. I'm not even going to introduce him because he needs to do the introducing after what just happened. And here he is.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing? This Isaiah Wilkerson. Just another guy. Just another guy that's happy to be here.
He calls himself another guy, but another name for Isaiah is Zaystation, the very famous name. Let's just get straight into it. I'll get into the recency before we get to your past and what we looking like. So you just came off of two Brooklyn streetball chips in one day, Zone 6 early in the day, and then Gersh Park later in the night. Up 30K. We all know the numbers. We all know the numbers. There's a lot of money in the streetball world this year. So we know the numbers. You're fresh off that different cloth. Forward for ADC. Viola is part of that. You see the hat. Talk to me. How does it feel fresh off of those two chips? And just how does it feel is the first question.
Man, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? It's more of a blessing because just like we're gonna get into it, just everything I've been through personally, everything that everybody been through on my team, personally. And it's just a blessing to be able to do it with your brothers. Like, a lot of teams get put together during the summer, and they just, like, they cool. They not, like, brothers, though. Everybody in ADC is, like, my brother. Like, I have personal relationships with each and every person that's on that team. Each and every person you see at the games, like, we have personal relationships with each other. Like, we protect each other. We make sure we good. We make sure we all solid people. Like, as a friend, if you do something that ain't solid, I'm going to let you know about it.
Facts.
And that's what we do. We hold each other accountable.
That's
we hold each other to a standard, you know what I mean? So it feels amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you got to understand, like, the two tournaments we won, you got legends playing in that tournament. And you can't take nothing from them. They're legends in their own right. And you got great basketball players that play, great young basketball players coming up that's playing, that's going to school, that made their own mark in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Like, even like take, for example, like Zone 6. You got Rod Dunn. You got T-Born. You got Romy over there.
You got Flair on that team.
You got, you know what I'm saying? Even, young and coming up, Mel. You got even Buddha from Uptown on that team. Those are good players. Those are players that could play basketball, like, legit. You know what I'm saying? I love all their games. You know what I'm saying? But so it's dope to be able to go up against them, go to war with them and at them, and they come back at us. That's a dope thing. That's what builds the culture. And then you move on to Gersh, same thing. You got a legend like G. Irv, a legend like MG3. You know what I'm saying? You got Big Vern over there.
You got Mos Def over there.
Mos Def over there. You got so many people over there that are legends. And then even if you look at the playoff run, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Erk Productions got Rob Feld. They played in the Final Four. Like, these dudes all play basketball for real. So it's a dope feeling to be able to accomplish that. But it's also, you know, shout out to them too, because they make the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
So I always wanted to ask this question, right? Just going into this summer. Of course, you remember me from Gersh Park last summer and how that went for you guys. It was a totally different squad. It was you. I would say at least that led the scoring, or at least led in terms of leadership. You had you and Chico.
Right.
And you had Philip there, but he was in and out with his overseas stuff and all of that. But
Right.
it was those two guys. And then you guys, I wouldn't say the whole roster changed, but almost like you had these off-season acquisitions.
Right.
And, of course, you're still the leader of the team, and you were still able to put on, as we know Zaystation to put on. When we look at cheat code and what happened with in terms of point guards or just guards, period, on your squad,
Right.
he took a back seat to JC and then Marv and then all the other guys that came in and produced, and Sam as well. What does it say to have a leader like Cheat Code and yourself take a back seat to guys that you know are hungry for what you were already building?
Right.
But you knew at the same time that these guys added something to your squad that you didn't have in a little bit.
Right. Well, first and foremost, Chico the best shooter in the city. I'll stand on that. I don't care how many shots he missed, and I'll say that to anybody. You know what I mean? But Chico has always been a selfless person. For example, when he started Leave Your Mark, I was his first client, and I was fresh from overseas during the pandemic, and that's when nobody was getting jobs. And he came to me, he grabbed me out the crib. He was like, yo, I'm going to work you out. I'm going to start my training business, but I'm going to work you out, and I'm not going to let you leave the gym. I'm just going to work you out. I don't care how much time. You ain't got to pay me, nothing. I'm your brother. I'm going to take care of you. And just from that point in 2020, now you move forward to 2021, and now it's me and him is out there, and even everybody that was on that team, they still our brothers. But we knew we needed more pieces. You know what I'm saying? We knew we needed to add younger talent, because at the end of the day, we are going to get older. And we need to build a program where these kids can come up through this program and succeed, not only on the court but off the court. And that's another thing about ADC, not to, veer left. Everybody in ADC is doing something besides basketball. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in ADC is getting their degree, making sure they have their degree. If you're a youngin that's in school and you play for ADC, if you don't get your degree or you don't graduate when you're supposed to graduate, you're not coming to play this summer.
I saw Fridge say that on the live.
Yeah,
I saw it.
You're not coming to play this summer. And we all second that. Like, yo, I don't care who you are. Like, for example, like Keyshawn's at school right now. He left, I think, yesterday.
I saw J-Pay just got back to school.
J-Pay went to school. They know, like, yo, we gotta go to school. We gotta do what we need to do, and then we can come home and then we could play. If you're not gonna graduate school, what's the point of you playing summer basketball? It's a privilege. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, Chico, he's the one that helps me. To be honest, he keeps me right. He keeps my head straight, and he's the one that brought in everybody. Pretty much, he told me, yo, what you think about Sam? And I wasn't even thinking about Locksmith. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know, Locksmith is Outwork. Shout out to Outwork. That's my brother.
Yes, sir.
But I wasn't even thinking about Locksmith in terms of playing with us. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of person, you call me to come play, I'm coming. I don't care who I'm playing with. If this is who I'm going to war with, this is who we go to war with. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? But I called, he told us about Locksmith. Then he told us about Marv. Then he told us, J-Pay and JC. JC was already playing with us a year before. He just never played with us in Gersh. You know what I'm saying? But he was playing with us. He played with us one game in Whitehead. And he was already playing with us. He never got a chance to play in Gersh. And then he came back this year to play. J-Pay was a acquirement by Fridge, which was a big. Love J-Pay. J-Pay knows he my brother. He get whatever he want from me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he want from us. You know what I'm saying? He always got a family with us. And he's ADC for real, forever. And, all those requirements was part of Marcus. And Marcus knew somebody would have to take the back seat. But Marcus was the first one to be like, yo, I'll take the back seat. It don't matter. Just when my number's called, I'll be ready. So Marcus is probably, one of the most important pieces we got on ADC for real.
So I'll serve this question as a lead-up question into Zaystation himself, right? So the last time I got you in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, was the open day Zone 6, and you guys beat Boy Wonder, and I think that was an overtime thriller.
Right.
And you said, first of all, Chico Dead told me, he's like, yo, Sway, you gotta get Zaystation his love, most underrated guard in the city. And then when I got you on the microphone, you talked about where you're from, you talked about what you live by, and you just talked about you just keep working. So when you, I'm not gonna lie to you, when we talk about guards in the city, I know your name. Even though I'm fresh in the street ball game, I still know your name. There's other guys that they're not gonna put you in that name because you don't speak about it like other guys would.
Right.
That's another tangent of intangible that some guys have. They speak on it, some people don't. You're one of the guys that don't really speak on it. But in this moment, could you speak about why, like I call it disrespected a little bit because I know what you can do,
right? And
some other people get more light from that. Can you just speak on why does that fuel you, like in terms of just your skill? Because no one can question what we've seen.
Right,
but at some point, your name still doesn't come up.
Bro, I'm from Staten Island, New York. We underrated as soon as we born. It don't even matter. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm from Staten Island, New York. That just says all of it. Born and raised, Duncan Hills, Berry Homes. You know what I'm saying? I used to be in the park by myself, lights off, shooting by myself. I used to watch MG3 do the 4-step. I used to watch. You know, I was around the golden era of street basketball, where people was getting jobs over street basketball. I remember Circo playing N1. I knew my history before I ever stepped foot in Brooklyn, but I played in Brooklyn my entire life. I know everybody that's outside or that's been outside that plays big time basketball, I've played with, and they know me like personally and know my family. You know what I'm saying? And they knew like, so the people that don't know me or doubt what I can do or whatever, I don't really pay attention to it. Because you tell me, yo, I don't think Zay could do this, or I think he's not good at this, but you can't even tell me why I am good. So why am I listening to you? You're not gonna be in the gym with me. You're not gonna go shoot. If I go to a park and I play, and I play in Gersh and don't play good, the next day you're not gonna get up with me in the morning and go running. The next day you're not gonna get up with me and go shoot. So why listen to the negative? If you're not telling me something constructive from a place where I can learn and get better, why am I listening to you? So why am I listening to that? What fueled me was, I'm from Staten Island. Always got something to prove. Like, that's just is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would never, like, I don't, like, me playing for ADC, people knowing who I am, like, and being from Staten Island, that's big for my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I had kids tell me all the time I'm a legend where I'm from. So and the only reason I'm a legend where I'm from, because I want to affect somebody else's life. I don't do, you know, there's nothing in it for me. I just want to affect somebody's life, man.
Got you. Stand on that, heavy on that. So let's go rewind it, right? Staten Island, right? We're in Staten Island, and what was your upbringing like? So timeline from about, you know, middle age. Let's go from before you hit high school. What was it like before you got to high school?
Oh, running around my neighborhood. I'm from Staten Island, New York, Berry Homes. I was the kid that was always in the park. I was the kid that always had a basketball in my hand. I was the kid that carried a basketball to junior high school. I'm in school with my basketball in my book bag, ready to go to the Y down the street. I went to IS 61. I used to go to the YMCA right off Broadway. So anybody from Staten Island watching this, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. So I used to go to the YMCA over there. And every day, just getting into it, working out. I got 5 brothers, 1 sister. I'm the youngest out of 5. And, you know, we all play basketball.
All of you guys?
Yeah, all of us, except for my sister. My sister was a cheerleader.
That's still tough.
Yeah, tough. We was all right. We got, you know, we could play. You know, we got some good basketball players. But yeah, I come from Staten Island. Everybody I'm around play ball, or they want to play ball, or they support. Staten Island's a small place. I got a big family, so coming up, it was a lot of basketball. Running to the Marbury tournament in Coney Island, playing at Broward Park, playing at Kingston. You know what I'm saying? Playing with Brooklyn Ballers, playing with Brooklyn Bridge. You know, even like a lot of the high name street ball players now I grew up with playing. You know, Jay Will, you know, Vincent Council, you know, a lot of players. You know, I'm sorry if I miss your name, but a lot of people, everybody that see this, they know, like, we grew up together playing. So coming up to Staten Island, just hooping, going to school, and just getting right, just staying ready. You know what I mean?
What was the parents like? What was the parents' aspect when they saw you picking up a basketball, and were they like for this dream that you were building?
Yeah, my parents was definitely supportive, 100%. My father used to. Anybody could attest to this. So everybody that knows me from playing, they know my pops, because my pops was at every game, and my pops, we used to have like 5 games a day. Summertime, Saturday, Sunday, 5 games a day. Play Nike tournament, then run up to Riverside, then run right back down to downtown Brooklyn, Broward Park. From Broward, run over to Gaucho's gym. From then you leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning, not getting home till 10 o'clock at night, just from hooping.
The
you know
grind.
what I'm saying? Yeah, just grinding. And as a kid, you just hooping. Like, you hoop anywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, just to hoop.
Yeah, you hoop in the Left Rack City, you and Kenny Anderson in the middle of the projects. Then you run all the way back to Broward or playing it. Now you got 2 championship games that same day. You got to win both. So it's like, it's crazy the foreshadowing. And
It started from young, right?
Yeah. So my parents always respected my dream and what I wanted to do. But they also seen the work I was putting in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take this serious. This is like a serious thing for me.
How was your work ethic going into high school? Because this might sound repetitive on my interviews, but I always like to say that high school is where guys start finding out what they are really good at and what they need to work on. What was it like in high school developing your game and just trying to figure out how you was going to go about getting a bucket?
Well, it actually started in 8th grade. I was playing with Brooklyn Bridge, and our team was tough. We had Vince Council, Lance Stevenson, Sylvan Landsberg, Blaze French, JoJo Swift, me. We had a squad, and it became a business, though. Because, like, the first couple of names I named, the first 2 names, Lance Stevenson and Sylvan Landsberg, both All-Americans in high school. And for you to keep up with them, you gotta bring something to the table. If you don't, you ain't going to be able to play.
Facts.
So, it became a business. So that started my, development of, like, I got to work out. I got to shoot. I got to be in shape. So, I started running every day. Freshman year, same thing. I'm staying with that regimen. My father's putting me through workouts, you know what I'm saying? And then what a lot of people don't know, my brother Malcolm, he got hit by a car and broke the whole left side of his body. And the only way he was going to be able to walk again, he had to work out. So my father started taking him to the beach. And that's when I started running the beach. And I started working out with my brother, and me and my brother, and that's when we really started getting it in, from what I remember. And we started, every day on the beach, lifting, running steps. It became a way of life. To this day, like, if I don't work out,
it don't feel right.
Oh, no, not at all. Day off don't really exist.
Yeah, because I know you said you was gonna take yesterday off after your endeavors. How did that feel if you really took that day off?
I didn't really take yesterday off. To be honest, I got in the gym. I went and shot, got some shots up, and I can't do it. So it's.
I have a question though, because when you talk about your brother being hit, I didn't know that.
Right.
So does that traumatic experience, and then after that traumatic experience, having to be by your brother and your pops just to work out so we can be normal in terms of walking and moving, regular movements, is that what made you so work hungry?
Facts. Because I feel like part of my fuel is the pain I've been through with certain things, especially the pain you've been through in this game. Because I feel like a lot of people ain't been through the pain I've been through. Not comparing. I just feel like, me personally, what I endured and how I had to endure it, in my head, I just don't think the next person went through that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to go, and I don't know what that person been through. I don't want to go through what that person been through, because I'm sure that,
if it's worse than mine.
Right, yeah, I don't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about me, I don't look at nobody's heaven, because I don't want the hell that came with it.
Tough.
You know what I mean? So I kind of, but for me, they ain't, like I told JC, shout out to the young gunner.
Mm-hmm.
I told him first day of training camp that we had this year, I said, yo, and they ain't been through the pain we've been through. So use that as fuel. You know what I mean? Like, you got to use that to, if you feel like people turn their back, all right, cool. Use that as fuel, because ain't nobody been through the pain we've been through. And my brother and my pops taught me that at a young age. You know what I mean?
So when terms of your college recruitment, what was that like? Because I understand high school. What was your level in high school? Like, talk about I'm trying to give you your flowers
Right.
for your high school development, but what was it like into your college recruitment?
College recruitment sucked. It was not good. It wasn't good because I'm from Staten Island. And my AAU team, we had great guards. We didn't have no bigs, though. So it was tough to be looked at, you know what I'm saying, at a national level. So a lot of us were under the radar, you know what I'm saying, because we didn't have the complete team, or we didn't have the look, you know what I'm saying. But my recruitment, I got recruited by Fordham. I got recruited by Colgate. They offered me a lot of low major to mid major schools.
Yeah.
But it wasn't none high major, you know what I'm saying? And then I finally was gonna accept the scholarship to Fordham. But I was gonna go to prep school. But certain things happened at prep school that it didn't work out for me. And then so I had to like figure out a school situation, and NJIT was there. It was there the whole time. And I just never paid attention to them because I was shying. Yeah, I was shying away from the work I had to put in, to be honest. I didn't want to, because they didn't win no games. And I knew I had to put in crazy work. They had no history really, because the history they had was very, it was D2, D3. They just became Division I. And it's a scary thing to know that you got to make history, literally. Like whatever you do is going to be written down, because it's the first to do everything.
Yeah.
So you got to figure it out. And I was scared of that. I wasn't mature. I didn't know how to accept that. But I guess, through God's plan, that's the only school he put in front of me. So he was like, yo, you got to go there. So there was no running from it, you know what I mean? So with no running from it, I just decided to go to NJIT. And they was there the whole time. So my recruitment through high school wasn't loud. It wasn't ranked. You know what I'm saying? I just kept working.
If it's the man I see.
Yeah, just kept, just grinded it out. Just got to keep grinding. So, you know what I mean?
As we tailor it forward, when we talk about New York City, and you bring up Staten Island, because I want to tap into that Staten Island roots a little bit. You said recruitment, you guys didn't have, just because you're from Staten Island, you didn't get much, feel. Just in terms of what we talked about guards right now, Staten Island comes up, you feel like that's your mantra. What is it about Staten Island that makes it so different? I know it's because it's far, but what's it about Staten Island that makes it so different for everybody else in the street ball game, or just coming up in basketball period in New York City?
It's the geography. Like, it's just the geography. Like, for example, like if I ask you, yo, what you think about Staten Island? You ever been there?
I've been there once.
Been there once. Right. A lot of people only been there once. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the geography of it. And we got, there's a lot of things that happen on Staten Island. There's a lot of good basketball players that come off Staten Island. Mm-hmm. But the geography of it, you ain't going to respect nobody that ain't been around, because you don't know what they've been through either. So you looking at them like, yo, you the new dude. Who you? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I felt that before.
You feel me? A lot of being from Brooklyn, y'all going through it every day. Y'all at war. You might have, coming up, you might have Irv Walker and Chuck Bryan on the same block, two of the top basketball players in the city at the time. They going to war. They working out together in the park together. A simple pickup game, you got a bunch of high-level basketball players on the same court, and they all from the same neighborhood. So you see those people every day, and then all of a sudden you got this kid from Staten Island. You gonna, as a spectator, you ain't gonna respect him just yet. Mm-hmm. You got to put in the work like these kids do. But me being from Staten Island, everybody on Staten Island seen the progression and seen the work. You know what I'm saying, or the work that's being put in. You know what I mean? And I don't look for praise for it. I want to do it. It's something I got to do. Not that I got to do, but it's something I want to do.
So you're a man of work ethic, but I want to know what was your challenges like? Right.
Challenges.
So when was the first time in your life, whether it was basketball or life, where you just sat down and you didn't know what to do anymore, and you just had to? That answer didn't come until you got out of that quote unquote funk.
That's a great question, because that happened a couple times. I'll tell you two times that I think kind of like put me in a position where I had to make a change. The first time was when I was in the D League. I got cut for the first time. Never been cut a day in my life, ever. No matter who I played with, never been cut. I always somehow made the team, whatever. Got cut, and I had to learn how to be a pro. Mm-hmm. I had to learn what it took to be a professional basketball player on and off the court, where you know, it's equivalent to you never judge a man through times of comfort and convenience. You only judge him through times of challenge and controversy. And that's a quote that I learned from Inky Johnson. And
Inky Johnson.
Yeah, great motivational speaker. Yeah. If anybody ever needs a motivational speaker, listen to Inky Johnson.
Facts.
Get you right.
That's a good one. Yeah.
He said that quote, and it was actually a quote by Martin Luther King. He quoted Martin Luther King. And as a pro, you got to be a pro when things ain't going right. That's who I judge. That's what they judge you after. So anybody watching this, you a kid that wants to be a pro, or you somebody that wants to do something in life, they're gonna judge you when things aren't going your way, not when things are all good. When things aren't going your way, that's when they're gonna judge you. So getting back to it, I had to learn how to get through that. They cut me. I couldn't act a fool. I couldn't be like, man, forget this. Or I'm done. Like, whatever. I'm going home. I had to stick around for a couple months and work out and not get paid in Oklahoma and pray they don't sign nobody in my spot where I had to move and they could fly me home. So every day was like every day I woke up like looking at my phone like, oh, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? And then finally, I got back onto the team. And I ended up playing the rest of the season. At the end of the season, I played like one game in the playoffs. And then the next year, I came back and played. So I became like a pro. I knew how to carry myself. Still, young, immature. Then, second time was it's actually three stories I gotta tell you. Second one was I was in Poland. I had just came back from Finland. I went to Poland. Personal life was not good. You know what I'm saying? Things was not crazy off the court. I was immature off the court, so things wasn't working out the way I needed it to in my personal life. So I go to Poland, and I'm not in the right headspace at all. Not in the right headspace. Long story short, I end up coming home. Me and the teams part ways. I come home, and I'm working out. But I end up, I need a job, need money, like things, the way things are happening, it's not happening the way I need it to.
Yeah, it ain't going there.
Yeah, it ain't going the right way. And that's another thing about being a professional basketball player. People don't understand the rigors that it goes through. Sometimes you got to go get a regular job to be a professional basketball player. Sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in the grind of it. You're trying to build yourself up. You're trying to get to that point where you could be, a high-level basketball player. And thank God I was able to do that after this instance. But so I went through that where I'm working out, I'm working, trying to do different things. And I wasn't getting a job. 4 months went by, no job. Now, mind you, my numbers was good. I'm like, I'm not getting a job. I should be getting a job. Like, what's going on? 5 months, nothing. On my 6th month, I finally get a call to go to Mexico. And I get to Mexico, first game, play well. So we end up playing. I'm playing well. We lose. We basically losing every game, but I'm playing good. They end up trading me to the last place team in the league. We're like second to last.
That's tough.
They end up trading me to the last place team in the league, but they traded me there to a familiar coach that I already had played for prior, and I won a championship with him in a different league in Mexico. I get traded there. He adds more players. Long story short, we end up making a championship that year. We go
after
into
the trade.
Yeah, after the trade, we end up making a championship that year. And that and the reason why that changed me was because I had to learn to be a leader. I had to learn to sacrifice things I wanted to do just so my teammate could feel better about himself, or just so my teammate could feel comfortable. I had to be uncomfortable so my teammates could do the things they need to do.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Right. So I had to.
I get told that a lot these days.
Right. So I had to make sure, I had to sacrifice. And it was one of the best things I could have did. Because even to this day, a lot of people on that team, they'll call me and tell me like, yo, Zay, you was one of the best leaders I've ever been around. So I was like, that's a dope testament, or that's a dope thing for somebody to say to me. You know what I'm saying? Because that shows me that I did something right. I didn't necessarily do something for myself. I did something for them.
For others.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. And then the third thing was And when the pandemic hit, I was going through it. I was in a dark space. I wasn't playing basketball. Thank God I made, the money I was making overseas was good. I made good money where I was able to basically for 2 years just work out. Like, I didn't really need to do anything else, but I was still like damn, like I'm not playing. And I was going through it. I was in a dark space. I didn't want to, I didn't want to be around nobody. I didn't want to play. I just wanted to be overseas. And then finally Cheat Code came to me. And Cheat Code had a funny way of like, we'll be working out and he'll have like a high school kid work out with me. But I'm like,
why you got this?
Right. But I'm saying that because I'm not thinking like I'm here to help this kid, which I always should have been thinking that. And I was totally wrong for thinking any other way. I'm thinking like I need to get better. I need to get good.
So you didn't think someone of that stature could help you get better in a sense?
Word. I didn't think iron sharpened iron. I just thought that I was sharpening him and he wasn't helping me. So one day I'm shooting and I get tight. I kick the ball across the gym. Get tight, I'm cursing, and I yell at Cheat Code like, yo, what the are you doing? Like, you got me in here. And he just looked at me and said, Zay, it's not about you. It's bigger than you. And he just kept saying that. All of 2020 just kept saying that. And in my head, I'm like, why do you keep saying that? And mind you, if anybody knows me and Marcus fights, we fight like dogs. Like we be ready to go to blows. I would never put my hands on Marcus. He would never put his hands on me. But me and him be ready, like really arguing with each other, forehead to forehead and all that. Mm-hmm. But he kept saying that to me. And then finally, it clicked one day. It was maybe like, a few months ago, actually. And he was just like, and I was in the gym, and somebody called me. He was like, yo, would you like to coach? And I was just like, coach? I ain't coach. Nah, I'm good. I don't coach nothing. I'm not a coach. I'll help anybody, but I'm not a coach. I don't want to have that responsibility because I seen what coaches have to go through. Wasn't with it. So
coaches are like teachers.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, I'm not with it. But then I got, and then, I got to call the coach. And when I got to call the coach, I had my family, they basically helped me make the decision. And they told me like, yo, you got to do what you got to do what you got to do. You got to help somebody. And then that basically put that, yo, this is bigger than you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So by coach, you're talking about your time at Lincoln.
Yes.
So the question I want to tie these two things together. Your overseas battles and tribulations, the D-League battles and tribulations. I'm asking you to just talk about what was first. There was the D-League first after college, overseas, and then as you tell that story, did you take those experiences and bring it to these high school guys, especially at a school like Lincoln where they have the history?
100%. 100% did. I took everything I learned from overseas and brought it to them and told them about it and told them the real deal and what's going to happen and what's, because I got people in my life to this day that, like, I keep my personal life and basketball totally separate. Like, street basketball, overseas, totally separate. You know what I'm saying? But I got people in my life today that hold me down to the point where they hold me accountable and they make me be a better coach to these kids, where they tell me, yo, tell these kids about what you went through. Tell these kids what you're going through now. Let them know the real. And let them know, like, you got to get your education. It's not cliche. You got to go get your education because basketball's going to end. Because if basketball ends, then what? What's going to happen? You know what I mean? So everything I've been through with these kids or with, going overseas, I brought it to these kids. And I let them know, like, use basketball as a vehicle. Don't make basketball your life. Because you make basketball your life, when basketball's over, what you got?
Facts.
You got to be able to do something else. You got some drums over there. It'd be dope for me to know how to play those drums right there. Seriously.
Nah, yeah.
It'd be dope for me to just get on the drums and know how to play it.
As much as we love music and all that. Yeah.
For example, perfect example, I just mentioned before, Jay Will. Jay Will's camera. He's putting together videos and highlights the past
13 Pro Max, might as well just be a sponsor for Apple at this point.
Listen, his camera is amazing. But it's dope that he's able to tap into something like that and not only you know, and not just be tapped into basketball. He's using his love of basketball and watching people play and, you know, people doing certain things. And then he's also adding his creativity side. And he's coming together. He's bringing it together.
He's trying to give me a run for my money. That's what
a
he's trying to do.
Yo, listen, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful competition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, shout out to him. That's what's up. He was able to use basketball to get to that point.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing. You know, same thing with, you know, us and Viola. Like it's the same thing. You got Circus, and he used basketball to get to the point where he's at. Mm-hmm. And you want these kids to understand it's okay. Basketball's a vehicle. That's it.
That's it.
It's a beautiful life to have. It's a beautiful thing to make it a career. But if you're not fortunate enough to make a career, use it as a vehicle. And I'm telling you, you'll be at peace and you'll be happy.
So with this vehicle, right? Did you ever at some point in your life just say, I don't want to play this game anymore? Was there
Never.
Never. Is that strong
Hell
for you?
no. Yeah. No. This is
what I do.
Never. I get in trouble all the time about I want to play. And I'm never around. And I'm never. You know, I don't have time. I get in trouble all the time. All the time. But I love it.
I like that.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Again, you know, your whole summer's taken up. You can't do no vacations. You can't go leave the city, because you're playing basketball. But I love it. Even though I'm gonna get in trouble, I love it though.
Is overseas ball and your D-League experience all that it's been chalked up to be? All the talk about it, so like what I see, at least from the outside looking in, from guys that if they don't get to the NBA or if they were in the D-League, G-League now, and then they don't get that call and they transition to overseas, is that hype all that it's all hyped up to be?
No. That life is hard. Life is hard, man. There's a lot of things that people don't understand. Chico, look at Chico's story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody saw his interviews. Look at his story. Great shooter. Never got a chance to go back. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people like JP, I tell people like JC, Will, Keyshawn, Mo, Blaze. And these are all the young guys on ADC. You know, we tell them all the time, like, yo, go to school. Once again, get your education because you want to make this a choice as well. You don't want to have to play basketball.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to have to play it. You want to make it a choice.
Some guys want to have to play basketball. I feel like some guys want that.
But they think they want that until basketball ain't working and they got to do something else. You think you want that. You don't want that. You want to make it a choice. You know what I'm saying? You take, like, for example, you take two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Gary Irvin, you got Circus. Fridge and Gary both made a career out of basketball. You take those two people and then you add two more people to that same pot, and they could have been next to both of them their entire lives, working just as hard as them, and didn't get those same opportunities. That's just the way the ball bounces. But they still got to keep stepping forward. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And those are two legends. That don't mean you're going to be able to, that's not God's plan for you. And you can't want to have to do something. You want to make basketball a choice. So you could just, you know, it could be fun. It could be a place of peace. You don't want to make it where it's like, it's work. It's a job. What happens at work? You get tired of it.
Yeah. All the petty beefs going on at work.
You get tired of it.
Politics.
You get tired of it. You don't want to talk. You don't even want to be around it. But when you're doing your show and you sitting there having a good time, this is peaceful for you. When you sitting there late night editing everything, you not totally upset. You might want some sleep, but you're not upset.
Facts.
I bet you if you tired at work, you pissed. Put money on that.
Put money on
that. You pissed. You like, man, I ain't trying to be here at all.
Yeah.
But if you could edit something for your entire day, you'll sit right here and edit it.
Take my little 1-2 break.
1-2 break, and I'll be chilling right back, and you'll smile.
Facts.
You hear about a tournament going on, you could pull up, you'll pull up with a smile on your face, even if you're tired. That's because it's peaceful, and you don't have to do it. If you had to do this, like had to, there's not like you would be. There's certain things that didn't bother you would bother you.
Okay, all right. So let's keep it pushing. This is where I get into the mind of Zay, the basketball mind. We'll be wrapping up soon, but I want to get into the person. I want to end off personally, but I want to get to the basketball part, right? So what's your favorite matchup, right? Your confidence in yourself, what you believe you can do. What's a team or a guy that you every time you see that on the paper on the schedule, you go, okay, I gotta bring my game today. Ain't no fooling around, ain't no talking to nobody. What's that person or that team where it's like, okay, I gotta tap into that chamber.
That person, myself.
Mm.
That team, ADC. That's it.
None of these people phase you.
Nah, it's not even about being phased. It's just when you're a basketball player, you go through so many dog fights. Don't get me wrong. I love going up against, and everybody that knows me that goes up against me, that I respect their game, I give them a hug after the game and say, yo, keep working, bro. That was a dog fight. I respect you forever. But I just feel you get to a point where it's just you versus you. You know what I'm saying? You get to a point where you're on a level where people, it's just certain decisions you make in certain instances. That's what helps the person say stop you at that play, or you don't play well that game, or your mindset's not locked into that game. It's not necessarily the person in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, vice versa. I feel, you know, when you get to a certain level, it's you versus you for the next person. So it's not nothing like not trying to be arrogant or not trying to, you know, it's in my most humble way. I really feel is me versus me. Where if I go into a game with the right mindset, I can affect that game in a positive way. Not saying I'm gonna get 30, but I could do things, rebound, steals, get a big block, get a charge, do something to help win the game. You know what I'm saying? And as a team, we feel as though we feel like that too. With ADC, like if we come into the game locked in, doing the things we're supposed to do, playing with the right energy, making the other team, you know, second guess themselves in certain places, we feel we'll put ourselves in position to win the game every time, no matter who we play.
So when it comes to the way ADC plays, the press, everybody likes talking about the press, that these guys shouldn't be pressing all day, especially in the different size courts, different tournaments, everything's different. But you guys still bring the ADC press.
Mm-hmm.
What is it to buy into what Fridge is teaching or preaching? What's it like to buy into that? Or what's the locker rooms like when he's giving y'all the game plan and you got to follow suit?
Well, it's intense, first of all, but it's like, it's one of those things like, why wouldn't you be in shape? Why wouldn't you want to be in shape to go press somebody 20, you know, the whole game?
Facts.
And make them see if pressure really make diamonds or pressure bust pipes. You want to see that. You want to see like what happens.
What happens when these guys are up
yeah,
on you?
You want to see like, because now if there's been a couple guys that we, you know, we didn't press correctly or we didn't have a good, you know, game. The energy wasn't there, and they killed us. They played a great game. But it's like, yo, you know, hats off to you. But that don't mean we change our game plan. We still got to, you know, have that high energy. We still got to be in shape. You know what I'm saying? ADC, our motto is we don't get tired, we get better. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to get tired. We just going to get better. So, you know, pressing, we just go, you know, that's what we do. That's us. Can't go against yourself. You know what I mean? That's like you trying to play cricket. And you want to do, you know what I mean? Like, just because one show didn't go right, now all of a sudden you trying to play cricket? Nah, we not going against the game plan. That's us. And then when, you know, that's why we shape the team so we could play that way. We have to be able to play that way. Mm-hmm. It's just us. So from high-level basketball players to the basketball player that's coming up, we all going to play that way. And then, you know, when I get older, I'm going to move over. And then the next person going to step up. Then the next person going to step up. And that's just the way to go.
So this is time to get a little personal, right? So I want to know a point in Zay's life where, how do I call it? I'm not trying to get dark, but what's your lowest point?
Lowest point.
What's your lowest point? Like just what's your lowest where you probably say like, damn, like I don't want to use certain words because I don't view you as a man that would do certain things. But what's just your lowest point in life?
Lowest point was when my uncle passed away suddenly from a heart attack. That happened about a few years ago. That was right before I went to Poland. Another low point was during the pandemic. You know, very dear friend, role model of mine. Definitely, you know, my father's super active in my life. Love my father to death, but like a second father to me. Passed away from COVID.
Damn, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and you know, it's those were low points, but they definitely they you know, they built me. But it's just one of those things where you gotta, and then, you know, also not playing basketball, not being able to go back overseas, that was a low point. I'm still mad. Still pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel like I should be playing. But that's just my personal opinion. That ain't something I blame anybody else.
Yeah.
That's just what I fuel myself on. So, like, you know, I still have that edge to me where, like, you know, I'm going to get a call to go. And then when I get that call, it's on. But, you know, anybody that knows me knows that only but so long you could cage somebody. You can't cage them forever. You know what I'm saying? So, but those were my low points. Those are definitely my low points for sure.
All right, last couple questions as we are running low on time here. This is the second to last question. What's the biggest lesson you've ever learned? Like, what's the one lesson that you always take throughout life? Your lesson that still rings in your head right now. Like, what's a lesson you learned, and when did you learn that lesson, and what was that lesson?
Biggest lesson is bigger than you. I learned that lesson this year. It's bigger than me. And whatever situation you're in is bigger than you. There's a bigger picture than you. And I also learned that if you're not affecting nobody's life in a positive way, you're not really doing anything. Because then at the end of the day, what you doing?
Facts.
You gotta affect somebody in a positive way. Make sure they understand and remember you. That's where you get remembered at. That's where you become a legend. Or that's where you know, your legacy will never die. Because they remember who you are and know who you are.
Let's talk about legacy. That's the last question. Zayday. I saw the pictures. I saw the video. Of course, I wasn't there, but I will definitely want to be there next time.
Oh, pull up, man.
You know the vibes.
Yeah,
So
pull
describe Zayday, and what did it mean to you to have a day named after you in your hood?
Man, that, like, I get chills thinking about it. Zayday was amazing. Zayday was amazing. It was a dope day for the kids. We came up with the idea maybe in like April. I said, y'all, I always wanted to do a one-day tournament, and I finally had a chance to do it. And with the help, you know, of Red Trip, Bigger Than Basketball, Darryl Grady, you know, that's family. They helped me put together the basketball portion. Another good friend of mine, which is family, Anthony Garrett and UTL, they helped put together the block party portion. You know, I had, just from family helping me get things forward, just donating stuff. I didn't realize how much love I didn't realize how much people love me. And I love people. Like, you can ask anybody. I'm that friend that would tell you I love you before I get off the phone. Love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I've always been that friend. I could have just seen you. Love you, bro. Like, so seeing that people love me, like, in action, that's like something I want to repay each and every person for. And I can't wait till the day I'm able to do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Zayday. I can't say much about it. Just make sure y'all there next year, man. We're gonna have Zayday gonna be crazy. I promise you.
So last thing before we get up out of here, what's your message to the people, any baller, any young man just watching our podcast right now? What's your message? This is your time, your 30 seconds, 2 minutes. You look into that camera, give your message for the day.
I got two messages. First of all, shout out to ADC, man. Different cloth.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Shout out big cloth. Like, I had to say that because, Circle watching. Second thing, any kid out there that's looking to play basketball, be a professional, do anything, man, make sure you go to school. Make sure you do, you do everything right. Make sure you take care of your parents. Make sure you take care of your family. Make sure you're a stand-up person, solid individual. Make sure you're doing make sure you doing the little things. You see a neighbor need help with groceries, help them. You know what I'm saying? Be a positive influence on somebody's life, because that's, the things you trying to do, it will get done. But helping somebody is priceless. I'm telling you that right now. And anybody out there, any kid out there that ever needs my help, that ever, you could contact me if you need help with something, let me know. We can work it out. I don't care who you play with, who you with. I don't care about none of that. If you need help and I can help you, I'll help you. No doubt about it. But just make sure to any youngin out there that follows me, that thinks I'm a role model, that thinks anything. If you're going to take anything from me, just pay it forward and try to help somebody else. Because everybody that helped me and everybody that kept me in line, I totally appreciate you. I love you. And I just thank you for continuing to support me in whatever I decide to do.
Yes, sir. That's how he ends it. Zaystation.
My boy.
Appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
That was another installment. Sway Reporting Live one-on-one sit-downs with the man himself, Zaystation. First off, for 2 chips in Brooklyn and is trying to get another one. Coney Island, he's going there today. That is his first game rematch of the Certain Parks finals. Yeah. We're not going to speak on that too much, but Sway Reporting Live. Catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
ABC.
Yo, AD, we gon' fuck this shit up.
Yo, another thing. Shout out to the boat, Mike Collins, Jules, everybody on the boat, Basketball City. That's family. That's ADC actually. So shout out to them. They help. Everything you see, from working out to how we do things, how we move, that's all. You can attract that all back to the boat and how, the captain of the boat, Mike Collins, got us moving. So I appreciate him too. But he's ADC, so everybody stay away from him. He's under contract, lifetime.
Lifetime.